What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the Transfer View. And not only the Transfer View, the window is officially... Well, I ain't got a hammer, Owen. Owen, play one of them sounds. It's open. The door.
Wait a minute. We should have prepared this. We should have prepared this.
It's all off the cuff, Owen. Don't worry. It's all off the cuff. It's open.
I can
open door or open...
There you go.
Transfer window is officially open. There you go. Yes, exactly. It's open. There are loads of things going on. There's loads of things to talk about. Oh, I love it. That's it. This one chaos. This one is it's open. The excitement begins. The merry-go-round begins. The linked, the talks, the no bids yet. All the bids gone in. Agreed terms not agreed. No bid. All of it. It's all started straight away. Jarrad Branthwaite, contract agreed, terms agreed. Leny Yoro interest. Us with Liverpool, us with Real Madrid fighting for this kid. Only 18 years of age, centre back. Chelsea getting straight in there with Olise, but we kind of want him. But he's not our priority. We don't have 60 million for a right winger, but we're in there. But Chelsea are progressing nicely. United want Joshua Zirkzee. It's all going off. Off. It is the start of the transfer window officially, and it is open. Smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're going to get big opinions. So many people talking about the Branthwaite thing already. No, it's too much money. It's going to be a Maguire 2.0. No, this is good. He's young. We need it. He's left-footed. What's going to happen with Lisandro? It doesn't make sense. It's all going off. Big opinion, Owen. Isn't that right?
Yes, it is going off. Everyone's very excited. Of course, it actually was quite remarkable how the window is now open and immediately, boom,
straight
away, all of this stuff's happening. Yes, let's get straight into it because we've got a jam-packed show. Start off talking about Jarrad Branthwaite. It was a big story quite late yesterday evening coming from the Times, an exclusive from Martin Ziegler saying Manchester United have agreed terms with Jarrad Branthwaite as Everton demands £70 million. Now, actually, the number that Everton are demanding is actually a little bit up in the air, Flex, because it could be more than £70 million. It's actually coming from a very reliable source, which we'll get to in just a second. But first, as I mentioned from the Times last night, Manchester United have agreed personal terms with Jarrad Branthwaite's representatives. Manchester United have yet to agree a transfer fee with Everton, who are believed to be holding out for about £70 million. But the agreement with the 21-year-old's representatives is a significant step forward because people go, well, why are you reporting on terms agreed, this, that, and the other? Well, if they're saying, look, the only thing to do now is an agreement between Everton and Man United, that is very, very, very significant. And actually, this could be developing quite quickly. Now, this is a bit of a red flag, to be honest, Flex, from this article from Martin Ziegler. He says the agreement on terms between Manchester United and Jarrad Branthwaite could see him earn £150,000 to £160,000 a week. They are understood to have moved very quickly, which again is a sizable increase. I think he's on like 40k or something like that at Everton.
It's always going to get a lot more though.
We'll circle back to that one because there are some red flags about this one. Coming from this account here, EL Bobble, which is actually a very big Everton insider account. They've said Manchester United have open talks with Everton over Jarrad Branthwaite. So United and Everton are certainly talking. But this is really interesting, Flex, because it comes from Simon Stone, who once again, as we know, doesn't really do the whole exclusive, doesn't really do the whole insider stuff. He kind of just goes to certain clubs and goes, hey, give me some information and I'll say it. He has said that Everton will look for a fee of at least £80 million from Manchester United for young defender Jarrad Branthwaite. It is understood United have already agreed personal terms with the players' representatives. They intend to speak to Everton about Branthwaite once the transfer window opens, that being today. So this one could move fairly quickly, at least now between the two clubs. But as Simon Stone says, the response is likely to be frosty. Everton, in an ideal world, don't want to sell Branthwaite, but of course, because of their financial situation, by the end of the month, they've got to raise some cash, and that cash could be in the form of Jarrad Branthwaite. But certainly a big developing story, Flex, really, when you think about it, when it comes to, the terms being agreed, is a significant step forward. But I think there's a lot of, shall we say, reservation from fans about the price. How much should Manchester United pay? How much would we be willing to pay? Salary, other options, which we're going to get to in a bit. Of course, we're linked with Leny Yoro. We're linked with Todibo. We're linked with a couple of other centre-backs. What have you made of it all?
Yeah, I got concerns, man. I've got concerns. we're going into this new era of transfers and decision making, and we really don't want to repeat, sins of the past. That's the whole point of this, right? Look, he's a lot younger than the Maguire. When we got him for 80 million, what is he? 21, Jarrad Branthwaite, isn't he?
21, 22 at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's right. And he is the next up and coming one. He is very good. I do like him. But I just really want us to refrain from like spending super big bucks on like an English player, obviously centre back. But when I believe there's more value out there. I believe that we can get someone of similar quality or have slightly different qualities that could equally complement Lisandro Martinez for literally half that price. And I'm fed up of like, look, I'm not saying Jarrad Branthwaite's not good. So if he does come to our team, we would be better in defense. I'm not saying that. But when are we going to start finding like true value in the market? It has to be now. Like Spurs went and got Mickey van der Ven for like what, 17 million, was it? 20 million? Something like that. Can't remember. Like just really good value. Nowhere near 80 million pounds. Yeah.
Yes.
Nowhere near. And we all looked at him last year and went, he's good. He's good. He's very good. Yeah. When Arsenal got Gabriel Magalhaes, that was like what, 27 million?
Who we were linked to at that period of time.
Who we were linked to at the time. Yeah. Let's even throw it back to getting the Sandro Martinez. That was like 47, isn't it? 50 max, wasn't it? Something like that. 48. I don't think it was like 60, but I think it was like 50 or near to that. And I remember going, that's I think it was about 48 or something like that, right? What is it? What was it?
57 million pounds. 57
that's a lot
million
of money.
pounds. Yeah. With an additional 8.5 million pounds in add-ons.
Right,
so possibly you're getting up to like 65 million quid.
Okay. But it's still not 80.
But as we always say, it doesn't matter if it works out. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it works out.
If Jarrad Branthwaite was 57 million, we would say yeah. Do you know what I mean? So like I don't mind, Todibo's, what is he classed at, like 40 odd million?
I think 40 around that number.
Leny Yoro, we're looking at young up and coming centre back, 50 million, or was it 50 million euros, I think?
Yeah,
50 million euros. So what my point is that out there in the world of football doesn't have to be, you have to get, the Premier League. Because when you go to the Premier League and they're young and they're English, teams are going to try it. And they're entitled to, because these players are always a premium. It's always been like that. And that's what clubs are willing to do to cash in on their players because they don't want to sell him. Everton don't want to sell Jarrad Branthwaite, so they're right to say, all right, 80 million. But also, we are going to get to the negotiation table, and we'll see how strong Ineos are at doing this, because they're in a position where they have to sell. We've already agreed personal terms, which usually is a good indication that the clubs believe, or the buying club believe they will find a solution. Now, just because we're hearing 80 million and the Everton want that doesn't mean they're going to get that.
Exactly.
By the time this is negotiated, they could say it's 62.8 million with X amount of add-ons. Then we're like, you know what, 60 odd million is all right. But then I would say I'm just a little bit confused, because I know he is left-footed. He does play left centre back, and unless Erik ten Hag's just got a different vibe to what he's always stuck to, which is don't like two of the same, and we saw it with Maguire, Varane, Leacher. Like he said it. I don't want. Maguire's better at left centre back. I don't want him right centre back with Varane. The balance is not off, so it's one or the other. He told us that. So unless, again, this is part of Ineos coming in and saying, no, if you've got two left footers, that's just what it is. They're both good, or you find a way. Or Erik ten Hag saying, I know I said that before, but this is different. Unless it's that, then fine. But I don't, even profile wise, someone who's a right-footed centre back, who plays as a right-sided centre-back, who is powerful, dominant, has the recovery pace. I think that's what we need. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's interesting. I mean, you mentioned Mickey van der Ven. He was signed for £34.5 million plus £8.5 million in add-ons. So possibly rising to, again, about what? That's about 42 million quid, something around that number. I think you raise a good point when you say about Branthwaite of, I found it quite curious last night that it was 70 million pounds, and then very quickly that became 80 million pounds. So there's certainly a lot of posturing from Everton going on, just because, like you said, because that's what they want, 70 million quid. I'd be flabbergasted if Manchester United paid that. If anything, If that's they're drawing their line in the sand at 70 million quid, then that kind of takes Jarrad Branthwaite out of a move to Manchester United, because that's just not going to happen. I would think Manchester United might be looking to pay, let's say, closer to sort of 50, maybe something around that kind of number. I agree with you that it is a bit of a question mark. There's quite a few question marks actually over this one, isn't there? One, like you said, being the price of going, that's a lot. Surely we're not going to pay that amount of money. Two, it's if that report is accurate, which after the recent happenings with Manchester United and the media, who knows what's accurate anymore. But if he is going from, let's say, like £40,000 a week to £150,000, £160,000 a week, once again, I'd then be looking at that wage structure going, you're doing everything you can right now to reduce it, to take it down. You know, Varane's gone. He's one of the highest paid players. Casemiro is probably going to go, highest paid player. Anthony Martial is going, one of the highest paid players. You know, in addition to that, you know, there's talks about Bruno Fernandes wanting parity with some of the highest paid players at the club. And then there's a bit of a pushback of that going, yes, you are important, but you still got time to run your contract. You don't want to sort of spike that. And I just think you'll be setting a very dangerous precedent just to be like, just because you come to Man United, we'll give you 100 grand extra than you earn a week anyway.
What should he get? What coming to Man United, where players and agents still going Man United? What should he get? 100.
100 or less for me. He's 21.
Can't give him less.
He's 20. Well, of course you can. He's on 40k at the moment. He's like, and again, isn't there meant to be room to grow? Isn't there meant to be room to grow as well? Yeah. If you start him, he's 22 at the end of the month. You start him at 150, 160, and he's the player that we hope he is in 5 years' time, when he's in his sort of mid-20s. What are we going to do? Double it? Are we going to go over 200 at that point? Like, you've got to have room to grow. You've got to have room to grow. For me, I'd be like 100 or less, 100 max for that. If you're on like 40, then again, give some incentive. You know, the dream isn't the money. The dream is playing for Manchester United. Let's not get it out of control here. Give them incentivizing the contract to win stuff too. So I look at that. That's a big red flag. And then also, to your point, he's a left-footed centre-back. I know there's been some kind of conversation about, is he left-footed, is he right-footed, blah, blah, blah.
He's good on both feet, but he does predominantly use his left.
But he's a left-footed, left-sided centre-back, right? And you go, okay, if that is the case, then you go, well, then we're signing two centre-backs, because there's no way, surely, we'd go through the whole transfer window and sign a left-footed, left-sided centre-back, predominantly left-footed, left-sided centre-back, when we've got Lisandro Martinez.
So if we did get, like, obviously,
there must be two.
Ambitious. If it was Branthwaite and Yoro, or Branthwaite and Todibo, or Branthwaite and, you know, one other lower cost one, then would probably be well stacked.
Yeah. I mean, it would be excellent. And also, though, and I've seen some people talk about this too, and it is kind of accurate. It does kind of once again fly in the face of how much money Manchester United have to spend this summer, because that story has been all over the place, really, hasn't it? About the number.
Story, the Branthwaite.
No, about the actual budget. How much? How much money
really
can Manchester United spend? It's like £35 million. Then you get the stories about, well, when they were talking to other managerial candidates, they were scoffing and going, "I can't believe you've got no money to spend. I'm rejecting you." You know, all that kind of stuff. And now you've got a situation where we're saying, look, if we're gonna sign Jarrad Branthwaite, it won't be 80 or 70, but it's probably, if it does happen, going to be in that sort of 50 to 60 range, maybe even higher.
I think he'll be like 65 or something.
But then again, if that's the case, that's already like nearly double the budget that we had in the first place.
I think that thing there is bollocks of, like, we've only got 50 million to spend, or only 60. Like, we don't. And also, obviously, we must sell. We must sell. And the Sancho and Greenwood situations are, you'd like to think, are at least 90 million, right? The minimum 80 million between the pair of them, like combined once they leave. Obviously, with Dortmund, you know, the manager's left. They're saying they can't afford him. Who knows? That other teams have to try and come in for him for 40 million. But that's what we have to absolutely be looking for. Then you're throwing in, you know, players like Maguire or McTominay. McTominay would be 100% profit if someone came in for him. You know, Eriksen, Donny, those are the ones, that the little ones, are shillings that add up to make decent amounts. And then the players that have left on freeze, that way you said that just the wages alone have come off. I mean, if we was to add up so Varane was on 340, wasn't he? I think something like that.
Something north of 300. Yeah.
Martial was on 250, or was he on
250,
350?
around 250.
250. Yeah, so 3, 4, 5, 50, 650. That's like nearly 700k a week there.
Yeah.
Brandon Williams was on like 70k a week.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's like not far off. By the time you add in that and then take out Donny and take out Ericsson, you're saving
And
over
then,
£1 million
and then
easy a week.
probably Casemiro, obviously one of the highest,
Oh
the highest
Jesus!
earner left at
You're
the
looking at like upwards of like
couple of mil,
1.3,
probably
yeah,
a couple of million a week.
1.5,
Yeah.
easy on wages, which does give you greater flexibility when bringing in these young players and other
So
players.
then why be like
Use it,
Jarrad
yeah.
Branthwaite, give 150k,
I think
160k?
100. I think 150, 160 is too much. But I think if you're buying someone for 60, 70, which is just big P's, like the way the football is with agents, and you're going to Man United, and he's one of the hottest properties in the game, in the English game. Like, I just think at a club like Man, it's always going to be like 100 base. I agree. I want us to give him, say, nah, mate, you're on 75. Or what's he on now? Like 40. Double it. Right, we'll give you 80. So you got double your wages. You play for Man United, but
plus bonuses. If we're going to be as
plus
successful as
bonuses,
we
clean
are, you're going
sheets,
to get all this kind of
trophies.
stuff.
Yeah. And look, we have to be stringent. We have to be strict. 100% agree. But I just don't think in this era of football you can get the players you want for that. And fair play. If we can't get him for that, then what we're saying is, yeah, good, don't get him then. You know, but somebody else will give it to him. And if we really want him, we will have to push on something. Whether
Would
that's
someone
the
else give
fee,
it to him though? Would someone else give him
I think
150,
someone would.
160k
Yeah,
week?
if he went Chelsea, he would. Yeah, if he went City, he'd get that. Get 100k easy.
Would he get that at City?
Yeah, get 100k.
160k a week.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's too high. The 150,
Yeah.
60k. I'm saying, but where I'm saying like below 100, I'm like, nah, he's not going to get below 100 anyway.
I think you know,
Kai Havertz gone to Arsenal. He's on 360 or 300, like loads.
Yeah, but I mean, even that's still
I mean?
ridiculous for me.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Saka on his last deal is now on the 200, but on his next one, do you know what I mean? He's gonna
well, yeah, but
up.
then again, but that's also my point as well. It's room to grow, isn't it? It's if you start 100 or less, then again, if he's a success, bear in mind, like
what's that wage thing I found? What was it again?
Yeah, if you just type it in on Google, those websites are there. Like if he's a success at Manchester United, let's say he signs a 5-year deal plus an extra optional year. If he's a success, 3 years in, they'll probably look to renegotiate. They won't let it go that far anyway. So we're saying 3 years time, we're going to negotiate higher than like 150, 160k. Like and bear in mind he'd be again mid-20s at that point. That's just that's an opportunity to spiral. Yeah. I think a little bit.
According to this, if you're just looking at some of the
40, he's on 40,
right? So I'm just looking at compared to like Arsenal and that, like, so what's his like? Martinelli is young. He still hasn't done loads, has he? He's still on his way up. He's on 200. You know, it says he's on more than Gabriel Jesus, the Premier League winner. Zinchenko's on 120. Trossard 110. Gabriel 100. But this is where it is good because, like you say, Ben White's on 93. So then his next one, he's gonna
he was a young English player.
Yeah, and he's on basically 100 straight away from 50 because he got bought for 50 million from Brighton. And when he got bought from 50 million from Brighton, we were like, that's a lot for him.
Yeah, and then
Brighton. But like he got put on 100k straight away, pretty much 93k. So like it's almost like the going rate. Especially
that's what I mean. 100 or less.
Let's do Man City.
100 or less for me.
Yeah, 100. I agree with 100. I definitely listen. I'm not mad if he gets less than 100. Gavardio, okay, it's different though, isn't it? He's actually a bit more experienced. He's on 200.
International. Yeah.
Nathan Ake 165, but he came in from Bournemouth. He ain't signed a new deal since he come there. Straight away, 165.
How many seasons?
Calvin Phillips, 165. Akanji came in for 16 million from Dortmund. Wasn't wicked.
Flex. Let's not even look at Man City's numbers actually, because who knows how accurate they are? You know, allegedly. Let's be honest.
Good parameter.
Let's be honest.
What's they put Van der Ven on?
Look at Liverpool. Spurs are very, very stingy with theirs. I mean, even Harry Kane.
Van der Ven's on 100 straight away.
So look at maybe something.
And he was unproven. All right, Liverpool. Let's go Liverpool. But who's the player though? Like,
and again, how old is Nathan Ake, by the way? Because
this is a guy. Gravenberch, yeah,
he's like in his late 20s now.
Yeah, well, Gravenberch's 21, yeah, and he's relatively unproven. That like done okay under what's his face, Eric, and like just couldn't find his way at Bayern. 160 straight away. More than McAllister, more than Nunes, more than Jota.
But again, these are
Szoboszlai's 22.
These
Szoboszlai's
difficult
22.
comparisons.
Cody Gakpo, straight in 110.
But how many games have they played for their country as well? I mean, Jarrad Branthwaite's only just broken in to the England team too.
Mm.
And even then, we're suggesting that.
But Konate played loads for France, and he's only 24, and he's only on 70k a week.
Because maybe he's not.
So I mean,
but point being, we can get very tied down in the numbers. The point being is that 160k for Jarrad Branthwaite is too much, isn't it? And
yes, I agree.
And what Manchester United need to do for this, well, the problem is this might already be sorted. If personal terms are agreed, salaries this might be really redundant that we're saying this, but that might be. But we need to not be a laughing stock when it comes to
I agree.
to those things. And again, this isn't like oh, Jarrad Branthwaite's rubbish. What are we doing?
No.
And I like the fact that the window's just opening. And we're like, all we got to do is agree a fee with the team, and we've got the player. That's excellent. I mean, where was this?
Yeah.
Last week we were going, with the manager and all this kind of stuff. We're not going to be getting anywhere with signings. I was saying that. So I look at the how quickly United are moving in the market. I think that's excellent. But this is always the case with these kind of things, isn't it? It's that when there are red flags, you do have to talk about them. You do. You can't at the same time that. We can't just be basically blindly happy. Oh, we're moving quick, so it doesn't matter. It always matters. It always the fee always matters. The wages always matter because we'll be the first to complain in a year's time, 6 months' time if it's not working out. We'll be going, with this person's on this amount of wage, or we don't have this money in the budget. So it should always be looked at. But it's a young player. We're going to see with the players that we get into in just a bit. It's very clearly United are looking at people like early 20s, like they're looking to get built for the future.
And we should, and that's why I'm talking about the better value in the market of like coming away from a Branthwaite and, like I said, going into France, go and get players from like Lille or Rennes or Marseille or Lyon or players like that who have all the attributes we need and would be willing to take a significantly less amount of a contract. Like personally, of course, these are young players. You have to give them 5-year deals for security, and you want to protect their value. They're young, and we have to strike that balance. I agree. 100 going up to 160, 150 is too much, but I think below 100 is probably unrealistic. I think 100 is about right. 90, 100, 110 max, like absolute max, which it shouldn't even be that. Joe Fleming says, "Allow 80 million for Branthwaite. No, 50 million max. 80 million for Yoro, maybe though." Well, no, he don't even cost that 80 million.
We'll get to that in just a second, yeah.
Yeah. Aminor says, Owen, did you see Marcel dress up as a pimp on Saeed's channel? Yes.
I did see I saw the screen grabs, with his cane.
Pimp stick. Unbelievable. Wicked. Cat Williams would love that. Marcel was in his bag. Big up all the boys over there. Javid says 8 players in as per Marcel. Yeah, Marcel says 8 in, 8 out minimum. Top 3 and all cup wins as per Boykev. Believe, big up Flex and Owen. You guys, jams and rocks. Love that. Appreciate that. Akash says Branthwaite will get 4 times his wages at Man United, which is madness. We need to walk away if the fee is 80 million. Wonder who wants Branthwaite, Ineos or Ten Hag. And All Elite says if you triple his salary, then you'll break out the red panties and kick back with a cigar. Got to keep them hungry. Glory, glory, Man United, and glory, glory, United view. Amanda says, my neighbour, who is an Everton fan, said he would want the same money we paid for Harry Maguire because he is English and talented. Hashtag Beckenbauer. Everton fans are all, listen, I spoke to some of them on the radio. They are saying, absolutely, this guy's quality. He's going to be amazing. And he's our best asset. So, yeah, pay. They're all going to say that. That's right. So, Ronald says 15k a week to 150k a week. Sounds like we're desperate. That's not cutting our wage bill. And Eminem says, reckon we can get an extra 1 million selling Anthony. And she loves United, says that the wage completely depends on the structure. It could be a lower base that rises to 150k with incentives, but the media will never report that. That's true as well. We don't know the breakdown of the deal.
No.
Yeah. The maximum he could earn within that contract could be 150k a week based on appearances, we don't know. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it and go from there. We have got over 2k watching. 258 likes. Big up to you guys. Get liking. Oh, we haven't put that in the chat, actually. We need to drop that in the chat.
I was going to do that right now, yes.
Yes, no worries. If you've liked the video, big up on you. If you haven't done it yet, do it now. Don't be a disgrace and a cheat. So please do smash a like on the video. We're going to be talking Leny Yoro. We're going to be talking Chelsea's interest in Olise. What does it mean for us? And we're also going to talk Joshua Zirkzee as well, from Bologna, as the transfer window is hotting up in the first few hours. In the first few hours of it. So yes. Leny Yoro.
Yes.
Leny Yoro.
Leny. Well, we're going to have to work on pronunciations through this window, aren't we? It's going to be one of those ones, isn't it? But this is quite an interesting one because we're in the race, but they are admitting that they don't think they're going to win this one. Everyone kind of thinks Real Madrid are going to win. But this came from The Athletic yesterday, from David Ornstein, saying Liverpool and Manchester United are actively pursuing a deal to sign a Lille centre-back, Leny Yoro, albeit with an acceptance that Real Madrid may ultimately win the contest. And we'll get into why in just a second. Paris Saint-Germain also strongly interested in the 18-year-old who is expected not to extend his Lille contract that finishes in June of 2025, so only a year left. The president of Lille confirmed on Wednesday that Yoro, as well as Canada striker Jonathan David, whose terms are set to expire on the same date, will be allowed to exit this summer. Yoro was at Wembley Stadium to watch Real Madrid defeat Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final.
He's going there.
And the belief held by most of his suitors is that the France Youth International will move to the Bernabeu, even if a deal does not materialize immediately. So we could be looking at Sofian Amrabat kind of vibes here. He's just waiting. But that, according to Ornstein, has not discouraged sides, including Liverpool and United, from pushing hard to entice Yoro, especially given the rarity of such a fine talent being available for the transfer. They, alongside PSG, are known to have made more concrete advances so far and would be prepared to offer competitive or favourable conditions. Yet there remains an anticipation that Madrid will step forward, perhaps later in the process, and prevail. The British teams view Yoro as a unique market opportunity rather than fundamental part of their recruitment plans, requiring an alternative solution if he cannot be landed. So it's not as if Manchester United and all these other teams have put, well, we're just going to get Leny Yoro, not doing any due diligence on any other player because they're kind of aware this one's probably not going to happen. Although Ornstein says in the case of United, they do intend to strengthen in that position regardless, i.e. Jarrad Branthwaite and others. Now, as far as actual fees available, Mario how do you pronounce this last name, Flex? Cortegana?
I'd say Cortegana.
Cortegana.
Oh,
yeah, from The Athletic, it's saying PSG, Liverpool, and Man United are strong candidates for Leny Yoro. Real Madrid have also made it clear to all parties they will not invest a crazy amount. A source familiar with the case told The Athletic that the deal could be in the region of 50 million euros. So the price is pretty good. The problem is, Flex, is that, it looks very much like Real Madrid are going to get their guy.
Good morning. I told you Eric Ten Hag stays. Spend the money.
Acknowledge him.
I was moving around.
You had a lot to do there.
I had a lot to do.
That's why I just sat in silence as I let him.
I saw out the corner of my eye and I'm reading. And honestly, one of my eyes went here. The other one was still reading.
I was like, just sit back, just let him do what he needs to do.
Yeah, I did.
Farah's in the chat. Acknowledge him. You guys know the deal. Big up Nubian Farah. Haven't seen you for a while. Comes through, says, listen, told you Eric was staying. I told you. Spend the money. He did say that, to be fair. He really, really did.
Yeah.
So big up to the Pharaoh. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Larry says, we didn't know our manager 2 days ago. Now we know Ineos's wage offer. Let's wait for official details before complaining. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, Fab with the tweet, apparently. Don't know what he said. Let's see what he said.
He said about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Flex. He said that Aaron Wan-Bissaka could still leave Manchester United in case of a good bid this summer. Not guaranteed exit yet, but possible as he has 1 year left on his contract. He's attracting interest from the Premier League in Italy.
Yeah, that's about right. It's about right. I think if the right bid comes in.
One of those fab.
Not really. It's not really an update. It's just, it's the beginning of the transfer window. Get in my bag. Get in my bag. It's not really an update. We knew that already. Yes, let's just carry on. Actually, that's just we know.
Yeah, he's
We
got
know
a year left on his contract. He could leave this summer. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for
Cool.
letting
No
us.
problem.
Thanks for that insight. Yeah.
Yep.
Where was we? Leny Yoro.
Leny Yoro, though.
Leny Yoro. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know loads and loads about him.
Lots of
Never
people
watched.
want him. 18 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
You know, he's
That's one.
attracting
Yeah.
interest.
Exactly. In terms of my own eye tests and watching him, I've not seen him play before. Don't know much about him.
You say you
What
don't
from
watch Lille
reading
every single week,
reports.
Flex. You're
I
lying.
do not.
You
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
you not watch
Exactly.
Lille every single week?
Oh, I've seen him. We should be getting him. I tell you what, he's fantastic. You know, that is a sort of player that we must be getting. I've seen him play on YouTube, you know, seeing his highlights, literally watching him now, actually, as I'm talking to you. Yeah, I don't know much about him, but when you see the types of people that are interested in him, that usually gives you an indication at the very least.
Yeah.
And also when Real Madrid are there, it also tells you that you won't be able to get them at the very least. So
Wow. It's twofold,
I'm very
isn't
pessimistic
it, really?
about that. I'm
It's
like, yeah,
twofold.
unless Real Madrid go, nah, we actually just don't want that guy. We did somebody else. Like,
Well, the last
you
time that
know.
happened, we ended up with Donny. So let's not get too, you know.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get excited about that. However, and this is a very vague call, just by looking at the YouTube clips on like the price and the profile,
Yeah.
I want that. I don't know
Yes.
who that, if that's Todibo or him or some other kid that I've never heard of in France or what. I know I keep saying it because I keep comparing it to Saliba and
You want a big French signing.
Kanate.
You want an unknown French
and
signing.
Varane, and because I love Varane, and you know, I need another regen. I'll be honest, I am biased in this. I want someone from like Lille, Rennes, Lyon, Marseille. Yeah. You know, PSG kid, he's like 19, he's hardly played for them, but he's ready to, like, he plays in the under 20. I want that. And then we come to the Prem, it's like, right, you can't get past him. Look how fast he is. Look how strong I want that. I don't want tiptoeing about like, oh, he's all right. He's nice on the ball, but no, is he hard body? Bang, can't get past, man. Like, that's what I'm on.
You get the impression with Leny Yoro again, because I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, you don't watch League every single week. What are you doing with your weekends, kind of thing? But you do get the impression, like I said, because Real Madrid are in for him and their track record of buying players, particularly young players recently,
it's not bad, is it?
It's off the charts,
especially French ones.
Young French players, you know, Camavinga, Tchouaméni. I mean, my goodness me, you know, they've got Mbappe now. You do get the impression that, like, if he does go there next season, we'll be watching a Champions League game, maybe like a quarterfinals, and we'll go, that Leny Yoro is bloody good, isn't he? and I'll go, how old is he? 18. You go, oh, how much did they sign him for? 50 million euros. It's only like 45 million quid. Oh my God. How did they do this? And the answer is, how do they do it? It's because they're Real Madrid. That's how. Yeah. Because they're in a race with all of these big hitters around Europe. Manchester United, Liverpool, Manchester City, PSG. And the guy is just like, I'm 18. All of these teams want me, including Real Madrid. Real Madrid just won the Champions League again. They've just signed Kylian Mbappe. If I go there, I'm going to win everything because that's what Real Madrid are going to do. So I'm going to go there. Yeah. It's not difficult.
It would take a really headstrong kid to go, yeah, but if I go there right now, like, I actually won't play that much. Like, I'm 21. Like, I actually really want to play now. If I go Man United, I'm going to be the main guy playing every single game, like in this new look Man United. Now, I'm putting our case there. I'm not saying that that's enough. I'm just saying it would take for him to go, yeah, but I know it's Real Madrid, but I'm not going to play that much. So I'd rather go somewhere I'm going to play. So I'd rather go Liverpool, or I'd rather go, you know, Bayern, or I'd rather go Man City. I don't know, wherever it is, apart from Real Madrid. But that very, very rarely happens. Like,
yeah, and
I just
again,
can't see it.
You mentioned it yourself. They've got a lot of young French players there as well. So there you go. Just go, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Mbappe, sorted.
Good. See you later, mate. I'm out of there. Exactly. So, but what I will say is there must be, by laws of averages, not even laws of average, I know there must be another type of Leny Yoro in that league.
Of course, yeah. But then that's what Ornstein said in the article, where he's saying, look, these clubs are interested, but they haven't staked their whole summer on it because they know we're probably not going to get him. We're part of the process in case something happens. If he does decide, like you said, actually, you know what, Real Madrid aren't interested, or Real Madrid have run out of money or whatever, then maybe you can sneak in. from that point, perhaps. But like I said before, it might even be a Sofian Amrabat situation. If Real Madrid say to him, "We can't get you this summer. Wait till next summer," he might go, "All right." I mean, if Kylian Mbappe can see out his contract and go on a free transfer, I think Leny Yoro can next summer too.
yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I like you say, I see this one like, that'd be great. You know, you get 18-year-old from Leo, and you go, he's really talented. And all these clubs wanted him.
It's exactly what I had in my head as to what I wanted.
Yes, but I don't.
Like,
I'd be surprised.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised.
But I still wouldn't give up. Like Todibo is still that. Like
Yeah,
someone like
exactly.
that is still that. So I don't care what their name is. I just want that type of profile from that league, and I want them to be friends.
Yeah, maybe
because then I can basically pretend never ran because I'm very upset.
maybe. Yeah. Okay.
We have got over 2K watching live. We've got nearly 2,200 live. Big up to every single one of you. 449 likes. Let's get to 750, guys. Really, do you know what? We should be getting to 1K. I'm not going to lie. The transfer window's open. The stories are storying. The rumors are rumoring. The news is newsing. The excitement and anticipation is there. Raise it, guys. Let's get double this. Let's get.
It's the Euros today as well.
The
Flex.
Euros begin today. Opening
Yes.
ceremony. Have a look at Scotland and Germany. Have a look at Germany, one of the not tournament favorites, but like some people that are saying, listen, don't sleep on them. Let's have a look at the home team. See how they do. So yeah, the Euros.
I'll be live. Well, probably like 10 minutes before kickoff or something like that. Here on this very channel this evening, screaming at the screen. Screaming.
It's Kai Havertz. It's Scott McTominay. McTominay magic. He's done it. His top scoring season at Manchester United, and now he's doing it for Scotland. Is there anything he can't do? His price has gone up.
I mean, Germany have been humiliated in front of their own fans. Opening ceremony disaster. I'll be like that kind of thing.
Yeah, so tune in.
Yes.
Larry says we didn't know much. We didn't know our manager. Oh no, I said that. Yasin, big up to Yasin. He's just become the latest member of the UV members club as well. So big up to you, Yasin. Right, that's all of the housekeeping done. To remind you guys, Chelsea and make Olise contact. How does that affect us? What's going on here? Should we care? Do we care? Are we annoyed?
We shall find out, Flex. It comes to Michael Olise. There was a story broken by Darren Lewis, legend. Darren Lewis, by the way.
Legend, mate.
Broke the story yesterday that Chelsea have already made the first move in the battle for £60 million Michael Olise. Chelsea are desperate to beat both Manchester clubs, Arsenal and Liverpool, to land Olise and have made contact with Crystal Palace this week. Palace, who accept he wants to play in the Champions League, will only listen to offers between 60 to 70 million pounds. Now, it must be stressed. Later on in the article, he does say, whilst he wants to play in the Champions League, it's not the be-all and end-all. Europe is the start, and Chelsea are quite confident with that. The Athletic expanded upon this. Darren Lewis was the first to break the story, but more details came from David Ornstein, saying Chelsea have made contact with Crystal Palace regarding the possibility of signing Michael Olise. The South West London club asked permission on Wednesday afternoon to speak with the Wingers' representatives with hope of agreeing personal terms. Interested parties have been advised to strike a deal with Palace before attempting to agree terms with Olise's camp. Bayern Munich and Newcastle United have also contacted Palace, while Manchester United and Manchester City retain a strong interest in the playmaker. The 22-year-old came close to completing a move to Chelsea last summer, but he opted to stay at Selhurst Park, signing a new 4-year deal. His new contract made him one of the top earners at Palace and contains a new higher release clause believed to be in the region of £60 million, which Chelsea are prepared to meet. Now, obviously, you say, well, why are you talking a lot about this? It's, of course, because Manchester United, as evidenced by Darren Lewis and Ornstein there, have been heavily linked with Olise. By all accounts, he's a Manchester United fan. But at the same time, it's the priority stuff, isn't it? We know we need a defender. We know we need a striker. We know we need a midfielder. The right winger, is that a priority? But if one of the people you are looking at suddenly is attracting interest from other parties, you have to speed up the process. What do you make of it all, Flex?
Yeah, we just don't have a spare 60 mil knocking about to spend that on a right winger at this stage, really. That's how I see it. If he's a fantastic player, if he goes to Chelsea, will he cook? Absolutely. Him on the right, Cole Palmer in the 10, they'll start looking fairly decent. I mean, you never know with Chelsea, though, because it's a mess. But, he's a very good player. If he came to Man United, he'll make us instantly better on that right-hand side. He'd be the best right winger we had instantly. You'd start him every game. he's wicked. There's no other way of dressing it up. And 60 million is, you know, I don't think that's outrageous for him. He's that good. Yes, there's question marks about obviously some of the fitness stuff and how long can he stay fit for, and hopefully he's put that behind him as a young player. But he's brilliant. He's so good. He's got I think he's got a bit of everything. Of course, there's always that question mark about someone who is coming from a Palace type side who's making the step up to the real big clubs, whether that be Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, whoever, Liverpool, don't matter who. That step up from sort of, you know, a team like Palace, Fulham, Everton, all those types of teams to go to the big uns. There's always a question mark, but his quality is undeniable. But I would look at this less and be like, see, oh, we're missing out on another target. Like, let's be real, guys. If we made him our first signing for 60 million, we would have to say, okay, he's fantastic, but we better have some serious money coming in for the rest then. Because if we don't get centre halves right, we don't get centre mid right, and we don't get another striker, but we got Olise, it's not right. Like we have to prioritize. And look, if he came in now with how the squad is, he would make it better. Like, because he's better than Garnacho, he's better than Ahmad at this current point, you know. But like I said, with the priorities that we've got to juggle and what we've invested into Ahmad, and we saw a little bit, keep him in there for a year and like let him play some games or start him a little. Like, I don't know, like spend the money elsewhere, you know. And the fitness thing is an issue as well.
What is quite interesting, the Telegraph also reporting that this release clause could possibly be only triggered by sides that have qualified for the Champions League, which complicates the deal for Chelsea. But the only thing I would say with that is if that is the case, then why on earth would Chelsea be trying to trigger his release clause then? You know what I mean? Because they're not in they're in the Europa Conference League. So how true that is, I don't know. It might be a case of, you know, it's 60 million for teams in the Champions League. Maybe it's a little bit more for teams that aren't in the Champions League. Maybe that goes to that number, like Darren Lewis was saying, of closer to 70 million pounds. David Ornstein himself did say that release clause is complicated, which we've heard a lot, haven't we? We've heard the phrase.
What does that mean? There must be some stipulations around it.
Exactly. So I don't know. I do agree though with you on that one, that we've said it a lot. Basically kind of spare me the outrage a little bit when it comes to this one. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Olise, and I think he's a really good player. Obviously, we played against us. He ripped us apart at Selhurst Park, and a couple of times I've seen him play. I remember when they played, was it Liverpool? I think that he played that day. He was excellent. So was Eze.
Brilliant.
I think he's a really good player, and again, this is when we have to sort of be careful of our expectations and be careful what you wish for, because obviously, in an ideal world, it'd be great to sign Michael Olise, because again, I'm a big fan. I think he's a top player. But if we were to sign him first and then we miss out on other more critical positions because we've spent on a player that just Chelsea and some others were going in for, then that is the Manchester United of old. That is what we would have done. We're going to sign a right winger. Do we need to? No, but it's, you know, it's quite a high profile signing. It's, you know, this will sell shirts. You know, this gets people excited on social media. But the reality is, what positions do we need? We need, again, centre back, definitely, maybe even two. We need a left back, definitely, because Luke Shaw looks like he's going to play at the Euros, but we know he's going to get injured next season. Malacia, what's he even going to look like next season? We need a left back. We can't go through another season of just not having a left back for massive chunks of it. Centre mid, looks like Casemiro could go. This could be the summer to really sort out that partnership between Cobby and whoever that's going to be for the next 10 years. Get it. We can and
Eriksen's going to leave, and Donny's going to leave.
Exactly.
These players still need replacing.
Exactly. We can sub up that midfield and go, right, that's the partnership. We've got that. So we don't have to worry about that in future windows. That's the partnership. We can do that this window. We need another striker, because for this, however many seasons in a row, we've had one striker this season. Technically, we had two, but we had one because of the injuries. And Rasmus Højlund, he's not the finished article yet, so he needs to come out the side anyway. And for different tactical situations, as we saw in the FA Cup final, it would be good to have another option, wouldn't it? So we need to have a striker. That's already then like 4 positions you're talking about recruiting for. And then the cherry on top would be, let's get a right winger. But by that point, it might be out of budget and it might be too late. So it might be one of those ones, Olise, where it's like, in an ideal world, yes, that would have happened, but it wasn't the right timing for us this summer, and it's not the right priority. And I think, again, it sort of circles back to the Jarrad Branthwaite thing. we can't, like, when we get linked to these players, we don't need them. And then when they do go to another club, we go, we're missing out on transfers again. Why are we missing out on transfers? Because I saw that a couple of weeks ago when Olise was first like, oh, Chelsea are going to make contact. And there was a lot of, what are Manchester United doing? We're being really slow in the market again. We're going to miss out. We do this every single summer where we get linked with someone and there is interest in Olise, clearly, but it's
Massive.
not that far along, and then they go somewhere else and we go, we're missing out. We can't sign everyone.
Yeah, we're not.
We can't.
The other day we were saying we can't even get involved for Olise because we ain't got a manager. We don't know who it's going to be. And then everyone's angry. Now we do know who the manager is going to be. And now we're saying, right, go and get Olise. Well, and then if it's the same people who say that, if we don't get the right amount of centre-backs, the right centre-forwards, the right centre-mid, back up at left-back or to start, people are going to moan. People are going to moan. And I just think that he's just not a priority right now. Of course, he's fantastic. And, Keegan says, I don't think Olise is better than Ahmad. He's played more than Ahmad. Ahmad's ceiling is higher, Ten Hag Defence League. International says, wouldn't spend, not a priority, have Ahmad and Sancho. Well, Sancho's going to go. PS says, Flex, I want to congratulate you when you incinerated our money exchange on DR after the cup final. Also, will you be coming to Germany for the Euros? I never know with like a game here or there, but as it stands, nah, I'm not going. Yasin, oh yeah, we said that already. But back to what Keegan said there, or United One says, make Erik Ten Hag work with the wingers he already has. And Colonel Stern now says, is Olise better than Mason Greenwood or Sancho? Also, the press are in the darkness. Reunited news recently. How do we know the budget is 50 million? Yeah, that's what we were saying. It's a big shout. Jig says, got to get Olise in. We need to add goals. We struggled for goals last season. Get Todibo, Lindelof make way, and Jarrad in the next 2 weeks as well. So Jig's saying, yes, you do need to get him. Look, for me, obviously, because we're basically saying that our forward line's not really going to change that much this year, really. Maybe we need another one striker. Whether that striker starts instead of Rasmus or not, we have to wait and see. But really, we're saying Rashford's going to be there. Obviously, Garnacho's going to be there. Anthony's going to be there. I can't see someone coming and buying him. I just can't see it. I just
maybe
can't. Maybe alone at most. But let's just say Anthony's going to be there and Ahmad's going to be there if they don't decide to loan him. But with what we saw towards the back end of the season is that we need to start giving Ahmad some time, surely. Especially at a point where we don't really have the money to go and buy someone in that position who could just come in and be the absolute nailed-on starter. We're in that position now. So use the tools you've got. Use the tools that you actually invested in a few years ago to nurture, to get to this point where you can trust them. Like, Ahmad is in that stage now where, yes, Olise is better than him right now because he's played more than him in the Premier League. He's done more things than him in the Premier League. But who's to say if you don't keep playing Ahmad in the Premier League, he could turn into the next Olise? We don't know.
Yeah,
have a look.
And it's not to say, and this is again the important thing. It's not to say that I'm completely happy with our forward options, Fleck. I'm really happy. Like that front line is the best front line in the league. No, it's not. That's not the case. In an ideal world, oh my God, yeah, I'd do some surgery on it. Of course I would.
Yeah, and adding Olise would be great surgery as well.
Absolutely. But again, it's the priority. It's about being realistic. And I know that, there will be points up there. I'm telling you now, Fleck, there will be points next season when we're playing and we're like, well, our front three, they're just not really good enough, or they're not creating chances. They're not doing this, they're not doing that. And that will be true. And that is really annoying. But at the same time, we can't go through the season not having a left back again. We can't go through the season of like, oh, when Varane went, who did you replace him with? Well, no one really. We got at least
kind of made sure we kept Evans. We kept Evans, and we sort of kept Lindelof and let him go on free the net. So we kind of we just soaked it up, that loss of Varane. We just soaked it up within the squad. But we got Olise, exactly.
Well, we got Olise, and that meant we couldn't really get rid of Casemiro because we needed a midfielder. So one of those ones. You go, what? Like, what? Like, these are big decisions that we need to make. And to your point earlier on about Leny Yoro, you almost have to sort of, bite the bullet a little bit and then kind of go, all right, Olise didn't happen. He was available this summer, but for whatever reason, we couldn't do it. But there'll be other ones out there. And if we trust ourselves and if our recruitment process and these recruitment guys are as good as they say they are, we can find other people and maybe do a better deal at the same time and do the business that we need to do this summer too. So yeah, I mean, look, if it turns out we can do all of those things and get Olise, oh my goodness me,
Oh my God, Jesus!
I'd be
Listen,
very happy.
Ineos,
But
Ineos. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
exactly. But
But
I
we
don't know.
can't.
That's it. No.
No. We're at 632 likes, 2.2k watching live. Come on, guys, let's at least get to that 750. I did say 1k, but might be a little bit beyond us. But come on, if you believe you can make it happen, I really do want to get as close to 1k likes as physically possible. Potentially even getting it. Like I said, if you all muck in, I'm pretty sure we could do it. There's 2.2k watching live right now. So with the amount of people who haven't liked the video yet, I'm sure we can make up the numbers. I'm sure we could do it. Right, last story of today. Joshua Zirkzee.
Yes, so we've been linked with him a couple of times actually, and now the links are coming back up once more, coming from James Ducker from the Telegraph, saying Manchester United have a strong interest in Joshua Zirkzee. Now Juventus and AC Milan are also interested. It remains to be seen if Arsenal are now going to make a move now that Benjamin Šeško is staying at RB Leipzig. He has a release clause of 40 million euros. Of course, he was called up to the Netherlands Euro squad on Wednesday, so maybe it kind of delays it a little bit too. But 40 million euro, with a release clause, that could be one to do. I mean, there was a bit of an expectation that he might end up going to AC Milan. They kind of felt like that one had been wrapped up. Of course, he did used to be at Bologna. Thiago Motta's just gone to Juventus as the manager there, so they might, possibly go, I want to get that player in. But that could be the striking option that we're talking about there, Flex. And I mean, in today's market for a striker, a young striker, 40 million euros, pretty cheap, not bad.
Yeah, it's almost like when you look at what's his face who came in from Villarreal to Chelsea, Jackson, 30 million is fairly low cost. People laughed at him and stuff for the things he's not good at yet. But in the end, he scored quite a few goals, to be fair to him. And he does have some attributes where he goes raw. He does miss a few chances, but he's active. He's hard to contain. He's quick. He's direct. He can, I don't know loads again about Joshua Zirkzee. I watched a few clips here and there, looked at some of his stats. He scored 12 goals this year, so not massively prolific.
Kind of
Didn't
Hoylandish
absolutely
numbers in Serie A.
Yeah, it's kind of the same exactly. When we bought Hoyland, he'd scored 9 that year. So then now he's taken his tally to 16 this year. He's our top scorer, Hoyland, this year. So he's had a decent year. Zirkzee, again, it'll just be one for the future. Not too much pressure on him. Hopefully he can hit the ground running and that. But I don't know. It's low cost. He's young. I feel like, it would tick the box, but it's not. I can't get behind it. So finally, thank God, he's really going to take the mantelpiece from Rasmus. Like I don't know. This is a new era, isn't it? And it might be some young players that we maybe aren't too savvy with. But again, I have been asking for us to get in our scouting bag and find these sorts of deals. Not every buy can be like this of an unknown. Sometimes you do need to sprinkle a bit of quality here and there, but we need to look for value, and that would represent good value.
He also, as well, and this comes from playing years of Football Manager, Fleck. He's one of those players that's always been like, not a wonder kid, not a wonder kid, but one of those players that he was at Bayern Munich for a while, and didn't really work out there. Played 12 games, scored 4 goals. Again, this last couple of seasons at Bologna, I think there is maybe not hope, but kind of a feeling of maybe he's going to reach his potential that many people had kind of earmarked for him a couple of years ago. But again, he's still very young, and as we've seen with kind of like the Martin Odegaard situation of. Sometimes it's just to find the right club when you do find that potential that people have earmarked for you several years before. So it could be exactly something like that. I'm really interested. I don't know how much he's going to play at the Euros for the Netherlands. Who knows?
He's only been drafted in, so clearly he wasn't really in the plans.
But look, he's a tall guy, 6'4" as well.
Is he?
This is the thing too with him. Like I said, when we're talking about just the sheer volume of business that we have to do over the summer, if you can get someone that's a release clause, you can do it fairly quickly, then that is something to look at. And like we said, we could spend another hour doing the debate about what kind of striker do we need, young or older, support or competitive for Rasmus Højlund, because Højlund did end up being the top goal scorer of the season, but there were points when it was like, maybe we need someone that's a bit more, ready right now. And I don't know where Zirkzee would fall into that sort of category. Maybe he fall into the category of, well, he's a little bit older than him, so maybe he's a little bit more ready right now. I don't know, but I do, like I said, the idea of it's fairly low cost and it could be done theoretically fairly quickly. But if I had to predict, my feeling is that he ends up staying in Serie A, possibly. Like I said, there was a lot of links to him going to AC Milan. I wouldn't be shocked now if Juventus really got into the fold now that they've got their managerial situation sorted too. But could be one.
They're going to look within the league, don't they?
Yeah, we were linked to him in January. I mean, we were linked to him in January. We've been linked to him before, so that could be something that works in our favor. That we'd had discussions with him previously, but we shall see. But I think these names are going to keep coming up constantly.
They are, and there's going to be plenty more of players sort of like that we don't know a lot about. We all go and have a look at and flock to YouTube to have a look at. But the release clause is quite low, or the price is fairly, okay.
Or if he scores in the Euros, then it's like, oh my God, get him, bring him in.
I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it.
Yes,
Shil Patel says, I love Olise. I know. I love Olise, but we can't skip the priorities to sign him and make the same mistakes like last year with Mount and then end up panic loaning or buying. So, yeah, we really have to learn from the mistakes of the past. If that means it's a bit more frustrating because real top quality is going past us, you just have to look at the position we're in right now and what we can afford to do and what is a priority. So, yeah, let's remain patient, he says. Yeah, remember that, guys. Let's just all remember patience.
Wow. Okay, anyone.
Few hours into the window, and this is what we're moving like
already. Yeah, few hours into the window, and look, we've been doing.
Ain't signed no one yet.
We've been doing the transfer view. This is the second week of doing the transfer view because we wanted to kind of build up to it, wait for the window to open, all that kind of stuff. The window has opened, and today 4 players immediately, strong links,
instantly. Yep. So this sort of stuff's going to continue to happen. So we will be there for it. We will be there for it. What we got coming up later on, the Trinity will be later on today with loads to talk about there. Because this is the first one since the announcement that Eric is the stage.
Yeah,
so we'll have
KG was right.
About. Yeah. KG was right because he said by the next show we brought it up. So we'll talk about that and plus way more. And also the start of the Euros. So
I'll be live.
Owen will be live around about 7:50 p.m. I'll say
7:50. Yes.
Yeah, 7:50. Panenka Studios. Is it Panenka
well, yes.
Studios?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. There's Panenka Studios. There's the Asylum, which is
the Asylum. Yeah,
I think the Asylum's more for pre-season, so I'm not sure what this could be. You can let us know in the chat if you want us to name it again. Come up with a creative name. There was Panenka Studios. Maybe Panenka Studios is right because that's where it kind of originated. Was international.
It's the original. Yeah. And Shahil at the break before we break and leave you guys says Mateus Cunha links. Is he better than Zirkzee? Well, again, I've seen Mateus Cunha play this year and was unbelievable. So I haven't seen Zirkzee play, so I can't answer. I would say yes, he is because I've seen him do it in the Premier League, but that doesn't mean that he is. So yeah, guys, smash the like on the video on the way out. Let's get to 750. We're at 723. You can do a little bit more than that. Get 750 on the way out. We are out of here. See you later on. Peace.